Uh, what motivated me to prepare for breastfeeding is the fact that I wanted to demystify a lot of the myths that I heard about breastfeeding being painful and breastfeeding being a very long journey, something that's very time consuming, troublesome. So I wanted to just, get rid of all of the negative stories that I've heard and, opt rather for preparing myself about what it's all about, how it works, and how I can make it work for me. So, yeah, that's the reason why I decided to prepare myself for breastfeeding.
I decided to be a part of this journey because I wanted to support my wife throughout the journey, and I wanted to make sure that she doesn't give up, even though um, uh, she may go through some tough times and whatnot. And I really just wanted to be there as her support.
I I chose OBSTARE to help me through this journey because through a very close network of friends and family. Enfermeira Elenaidu was basically, the perfect in between because of her age, because she's around my age. So it made things a lot more relatable, and she could understand, my things like our upbringing and the stories we've heard, as well as I could trust that she would try to empathize and make everything that she would teach us during the consultation more relatable. So it was a perfect combination between um, the modern medicine and professional side of things around breastfeeding, as well as the traditional and yeah, the more traditional side of things. So since she's aware of both things, then it made her become kind of like an impartial party to help us through this journey.
What I liked about the consultation was the detailed and concise explanations, including visual explanations on how uh, the milk reproduction uh, system works, and how and what to do when encountered with a situation such as blocked ducts.
um yeah, I think I also agree with my husband here on this. I think the visual learning with clear simulations as to how to prepare your breast for breastfeeding, and also I think one of the top highlights for me is learning how to have a proper latch when breastfeeding your baby, because uh, even after I had this consultation, I realized that a lot of women go through this problem of an improper latch with their babies, which would cause them to give up breastfeeding because the babies would cry and it would seem like they were never really full. So, seeing how learning how to have a proper latch when breastfeeding the baby, learning that I needed to switch breasts for each feed, and basically how to massage before breastfeeding to avoid blocked ducts. So yeah, I think those were the top highlights, because I think it's everything that tends to make a lot of women give up breastfeeding. So I felt like we were really very prepared for this, and you know doing this with my partner allowed him to also know how he could support me in a lot of the things that we learned together. So he, funny enough, at home we started, every time he would bring the baby to me to breastfeed, then he would always ask me, which side it is it this time, and that just goes to show that he really, took in all of the information and lessons that we got from Enfermera in the night. So yeah, I think a lot of the things were really good for us as a couple that we learned, and we learned how to support each other a lot more during this journey of breastfeeding. Given that we've kind of moved into a world where everything is being done remotely and online because of COVID, I don't think we were really afraid of having this consultation online. Also because we were prepared, we were told what we needed to have for the consultation, and yeah, even during the consultation, our enfermera in the night had her tools and little dolls for simulation. We had our doll for simulation, so we were able to still, get the most out of the consultation. And in terms of the results, after the consultation, I mean, till today, I'm still breastfeeding my son. He's 9 months old, and he enjoys it. I enjoy it. It doesn't seem like anything that is time consuming, that hurts. I had all of the support that I needed from OBSTARE from the start, so that if anything seemed like it could stop me from continuing my breastfeeding journey, I just asked for help, and everything was clarified to me so I could continue. So only positive results there. The online format of it was nothing to be afraid of.
I was not hesitant or apprehensive about this consultation. I thought that it was extremely beneficial, and it really allowed me, at least as a father, to, well, not just as a father, but also a husband, to help in whatever is necessary to support my wife through her breastfeeding journey.
Okay. I think that having professional guidance was really important for us to be able to have a different perspective of this experience, because we've heard a lot of the traditional side of things, the traditional perspective on breastfeeding, what we need to do, what we shouldn't do, all of the threats involved in trying to teach us. And hearing the professional guidance from OBSTARE helped us feel like this journey is not something that's meant to be, scary, painful. It's something that's more about a connection with your child, with the nutrition you're providing to your child, for you to continue the journey rather than see it as as a duty. So OBSTARE taught us that, it's not just about the biology of it, though we were taught how it works so that we know what to do, but it's also about the connection and the support. And I think that's a very unique thing to learn from a consultation that is considered to be, something more medical or biological. So I think that having this professional guidance was really what we needed to kind of combine the two worlds, and decide in any given situation which perspective works for us the best. But at least now we know how to make that choice and not be afraid. I do feel like we have, reached our objectives with the preparation that we received for breastfeeding, because I was actually able to quickly just catch on to it, even though I did my breastfeeding consultation maybe about 3 months before giving birth. Once the baby was born, I was more than ready to start the journey and make sure that I did everything properly so that I could feed him properly. And I feel like that's the main objective that I had, to properly feed my child, to be properly prepared for it, to know what I needed to do in case things weren't going as they should, and also my objective of having support in case I really didn't know what was happening or I needed help. I knew that I could always just send a message to OBSTARE and they would quickly respond to me and tell me what I needed to do to help my situation and make it the most natural natural process and journey.
I would recommend that parents, especially dads, prepare themselves for breastfeeding with this consultation. At least for me as a dad, it allowed me to know how to help my wife, how to support her. And I think that this is an important aspect of the togetherness that comes with raising a family, but also the initial stages of bringing a life into this world. And I really think that any male could really benefit from such a consultation.
I agree. I would definitely recommend this consultation to other mothers and parents, especially mothers, because a lot of the time we assume that we'll know what to do when the time comes. That's true. We have nature and intuition to help us with that. But as I've also come to see, a lot of other women I know that recently gave birth around the time that I did, after I received the consultation, had some challenges in starting their breastfeeding journey because they didn't have the assistance that I did, and I was able to help them with small things like making sure they had the proper latch, or holding the baby in the right position. So the fact that I received this consultation allowed me to help other people, but I think that if they went through the consultation themselves, they would have a lot more value from it. So definitely 100% would recommend for mothers and fathers. I would like to say that OBSTARE is really a great initiative, a great source of support for a lot of young women, grown women, all women, parents. I feel like it's part of this support network that we are all lacking, because we feel like the internet is everything to us, but we need that person who's able to respond to our situations and questions on a case-by-case basis, because everyone is different. And OBSTARE really makes you they really try to understand your individuality and try to calmly soothe you through all of your questions and your doubts that you may have throughout your breastfeeding journey, and assure you that you're doing great and that you will continue to do great. And I think that that's something really unique to have, because now you don't have only like I said, medical and biological perspective of breastfeeding from a professional, but you also have the connection element of both mother, father, and baby in these consultations. So that's what I'd like to say about OBSTARE. And it's a great initiative, and everyone should really try to get their hands on the book and the consultation to help generations and generations to come.